Hi. So today I'm going to talk about how to get internship opportunities in the quant finance field. I'll also talk about whether internship is important or not, what are the different types of internship. So if you are someone who is looking for an internship opportunity in the quantitative finance field, this video is going to be useful, so you can watch until the end. Um, now, the field of quant finance is actually quite different from many other technical fields, such as software engineering or data science, in many ways. But one of the main difference is that software engineering jobs are available everywhere, right? No matter what company you want to work for, you'll have a software engineering department, right? Do not be just a software development product company. All the companies in the world, regardless of which sector, whether it's healthcare, finance, or travel, tourism, they have their tech department, right? You can work there. But that's not the case with quant finance. Actually, quant finance is a very niche area, right? You find this opportunity only in banks and insurance companies, fintechs, and mutual fund companies, hedge fund companies, trading firms. There's simply not many areas where you can explore, right? You have a very specific area to explore. Having said that, it's also important to note that banking and finance is one of the biggest sector in the whole world, right? It's one sector that employs perhaps the biggest number of employees in almost all countries, and certainly in the big economies, in the US and European economies, but also in China, India, and other places. It employs just way too many people, right? So there's a lot of opportunity despite it being a niche field. Okay, so that's one thing to note. And why that is important to know before you apply for internship is because, unlike in other technical jobs where you simply keep on applying in 100 companies and you will get a call from one or two, that's not going to work actually in quant finance, right? You have to focus a bit, right? What type of quant finance you want to do actually, right? You want to do trading, you want to do research, you want to do research on algorithms for use for trading and investment, or you want to build software systems for trading and investment or for lending purposes, or do we want to do product management, do we want to do risk management, do we want to build gain some experience in regulatory modeling area. So there are many areas actually, right, where you can get some experience. Now, as someone who is a beginner, you may not have many choices actually, right? So that could be a problem actually while trying to sort of applying for internship position. But I think it's good to know a few things like about quant finance before even you apply, right? If you're a complete newbie, right, you have no idea about what the different areas of quant finance, right? You may not be able to impress, in the interview, in the internship interview. So first thing to note is to have some clarity about what you want to do, right? If you are interested more in the banking side of things, then apply in big banks, in small banks, commercial banks, but also retail banks or even fintechs. If you're interested in more trading side of things or long-term investment, that area, try applying for intensive in those fields, right? Trading and trading companies or asset management company, pension funds, those sort of companies. And there are quite a number of things to keep in mind while you're applying. So that's the first thing to think, like choose your area, right? The second thing to know is that yeah. Um, so the second thing to know is that you really need to know people in those company in order to have a chance to get internship, right? Simply because, unlike in software engineering, for example, where there's simply too many internship opportunities in banks, you will not find any internship opportunities advertised on LinkedIn or any other job sites, right? You go do a search on LinkedIn, you probably won't find many internship opportunities coming from banks and insurance companies, especially the big ones, the regulated ones. You almost never come across internship opportunities being advertised. So you really need to reach out to people. Really need to know people, right? You can know them, to various means. Either he or she is a senior, college senior, university senior, or you have met him some conference, you have read his articles or posts on LinkedIn. Just reach out to them, right? In the regulatory area, it's very difficult to find opportunities in internship, simply because there are a lot of paperwork, and people don't want to do paperwork before, just for employing someone for 2 to 3 months time, right? If you want to work with the Citibank, for example, right, you have to go through some background check before they will allow you to, enter their office and work there, right? It's a highly regulated entity. So yeah, it's not very useful for Citibank to hire interns to for the ones which are unregulated or less regulated, NBFCs, non-banking financial organizations, they may be interested, right? I remember working with an NBFC, and we used to have interns, 5 6 interns every year in my team. So try applying at NBFCs actually rather than banks. Although banks do take interns, by the way, it's not like they don't take, but they're a bit lazy actually. The incentives for them is much less. Right. Consulting firms actually, they take a lot of interns. KPMG and PwC and these companies, they take a lot of interns, and the chances of getting a full-time offer after doing internship in these companies is also quite high. So you must reach out to them. They also advertise their internship opportunities on LinkedIn and on various platforms. Reach out to the HRs directly, or head of department. You can find their details on LinkedIn. Just spam their inbox with your CV and your strong interest, right? That's one other way to get an opportunity. The many private firms do not want interns because it's very secretive, so they simply won't encourage someone to come and work for them for 2 3 months. That's something they will never do. Having said that, there are many, for example, some pension funds and all, and some trading company, they do like to hire interns. It's because it's cost effective for them, and they might want to even give a full-time offer if they like you. So try reaching out to them. Fintechs offer just a number of internship opportunity, in fact, in all areas, but certainly in the quant finance area. So that's one other place where you should be, looking for internship. So just, and they also advertise internship opportunities on different platforms. So that's easy to actually know actually where the vacancies are. So there you can apply. Couple of more things to keep in mind. One is internship is very important. I've said this many times in my video that if you can manage to get an internship, I think do go for it. It's perhaps the best way of learning, perhaps the best way of landing in a job, in your first job, which is perhaps the most difficult thing, right? After that, you will have many opportunity coming in a way, but getting your first job is always very difficult in any field, and certainly in this field. What I suggest is that you try your best, level best, to get an internship opportunity. But if you don't get it, don't worry too much, because the opportunities in, especially the big banking and insurance area, in internship for internship is simply very very difficult. It's very difficult to get an internship opportunity actually. So you are not the only one. That's what I'm saying. Many people would have also missed out on getting an internship opportunity in these companies. So that's still fine. You still can, aspire to work in this field after you graduate from university, and you can directly go for a full-time job, right? But there are other ways also to get internship opportunity. For example, if you if you just work on a side project with someone, that could also count as an internship. Yeah, I did internship in university, in one university, with a professor. That could also count well in as experience. It's not as good as working with a real world company, but it's still better than doing nothing, right? So you could also work with professors who work with big banks or big consulting firms as consultants. Just work as an intern with them. You will learn a lot. If you don't manage to get that, also you can do some side projects, and show that as your experience on your CV. That also will help you, right? But as I've said, unlike software engineering, where intensive experience is a must thing, it's not actually that that important in quant finance. Although I highly suggest that you go for it if you manage to get it, but getting that is very difficult, much more difficult compared to in software engineering and data science. Okay, and if you do not manage to get, you are not the only one, so don't worry about it. You still continue with your study and doing side projects. You could still be hired, right? Make the most of the internship opportunity. Try to build contacts. There are a few things, more things to keep in mind. For example, unlike in software engineering, other tech jobs where you can just wear anything, that's not how you should behave in if you want to make a career in finance. So dress formally if it is required. um, you really need to behave properly, be on time, go to office on time, and be there for and push yourself, right, to do things well. Try to be compliant in every possible ways, and yeah, keep these things in mind. This is not just another technical job. It is it the quant finance is one area where you also have to be a bit more polished when it comes to your personality should be a bit more polished, in a way that you should be a bit mature, right? It's not that just you have the technical skills and you will be hired. That's a prerequisite, but that's not enough. That's not enough to get a job. You need to be a good team player, but you should have some understanding of the business. You should be mature. You should be willing to manage stakeholders. All that, those soft skills are also important, right? So showcase that when you do internship. That will increase your chances of being hired as a full-time employee. All right. Thanks, as always. Thanks for watching this video.